You ever have one of those brilliant ideas for a new product or a business, but then you get kind of overwhelmed by all the risk and, the uncertainty of actually making it happen? Well, it turns out there's a smarter, faster, and way less risky way to build something new. So let's dive right in.
I mean, we've all heard the stories, right? Entrepreneurs just pouring their heart and soul, not to mention their money, into a new venture, only to watch it, well, fail. The reality is, the failure rate for new stuff is just incredibly high. It's a trap that honestly catches even the best and brightest.
So the big question is, why? Why does this happen so often? Is it not enough money? Bad execution? Maybe the idea was just bad? And yeah, those can all play a part for sure, but the real reason is usually something way more fundamental.
And here's the punchline. The number one reason most startups fail is because they build a perfect solution to a problem nobody actually has, or, a problem nobody is willing to pay to solve. It's this massive disconnect between what the creator thinks people want and what customers really need. Okay, so how do we avoid that trap? It really comes down to shifting our entire mindset. We've got to move away from those rigid, old-school business plans and start embracing something more like a scientific method. It's all about experimenting.
Just look at the difference here. The traditional way, that's like spending months, maybe years, building a massive rocket ship, planning everything down to the last bolt, and then hitting the launch button and just hoping for the best. The lean method, on the other hand, is completely different. It's more like a test track. You build something small, you test it, you measure the results, you learn, and you adapt. It's all about being agile, not locking yourself into one big bet.
Yeah, this really nails the difference. That traditional business plan is the rocket, right? You aim it, launch it, and just pray it lands somewhere close to the target. But a lean venture, that's more like a high-performance engine. You're not just launching and hoping, you're tuning. You have the steering wheel in your hands, and you're constantly making these small adjustments based on what the road, your customers, is telling you in real time.
So this engine we're talking about, how does it actually work? What makes it go? Well, it's powered by a really simple but incredibly powerful idea, the feedback loop.
It all boils down to 3 simple steps. Step 1, build. Now, we're not talking about building the entire finished product. No way. We're talking about a minimum viable product, an MVP, the absolute simplest version of your idea that you can create just to start learning. Step 2, measure. You get that MVP out there and you measure how real customers actually interact with it. We're talking real-world data. And finally, step 3, learn. This is the moment of truth. You look at the data and decide, do we persevere and keep going down this path, or do we pivot and change direction based on what we've learned? And here's the crucial part. This isn't a one-and-done process. It's a continuous loop. The goal is not to get it perfect on the first try. The goal is to go through this build, measure, learn cycle as fast as you possibly can. Because every single time you go through that loop, you learn something valuable. You sharpen your idea, and you get one step closer to what customers will actually open their wallets for. It saves you so much time and money.
Okay, let's talk about that learn step for a second, because it's really, really important. It has to be a specific kind of learning. See, it's super easy to fail and then just shrug and say, well, at least we learned something, but that's not good enough. We need something called validated learning.
So what is validated learning? It's basically the process of proving your ideas are solid using cold, hard data from real customers. It's about showing, through your experiments, that you're actually making real progress towards building a business that can last.
Here's the best way to think about it. Validated learning is the difference between just guessing and actually knowing. It's the process that takes all your riskiest assumptions, the things you think are true, and turns them into facts. It's what stops you from making excuses for failure and forces you to show exactly what you learned and how it's getting you closer to success.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but you're probably wondering, how do I actually do this? So let's get practical. Let's break down the first steps you can take, like right now.
Here's your game plan. First off, write down your biggest assumptions. What are the core beliefs your whole idea is built on? Second, figure out the absolute smallest, fastest experiment you can run to test one of those assumptions. Seriously, it doesn't have to be a complex product. It could just be a simple web page or even a slideshow. Third, and this is so important, get out of the building. Go talk to actual potential customers. And when you do, measure what they do, not just what they say. And finally, you have to be ready to listen to that data. Be prepared to be wrong and have the courage to change direction based on what you find out.
This quote really just sums the whole thing up perfectly. The goal isn't to build the thing with the most features. It's not about having the prettiest business plan. The real race is a race to learn. It's about finding that sweet spot, that intersection of what you can build and what customers are desperate for, and finding it faster than anybody else.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Stop building in the dark. Stop just hoping you'll guess right. Instead, start learning what actually works. It's about replacing that guesswork with real data and replacing blind faith with validated learning. That, right there, is how you build something that actually matters.
So the real question for you is, are you ready to take these ideas and actually apply them to your own venture? Are you ready to stop guessing and start moving forward with real clarity and purpose?
If you want to take action, move forward, and find more clients, you can book a free call with CT Marketing using the link below.